know I'd go from rags to riches.
A lot of people think economics is the study of money and how it works, but this isn't always true. Economics is the study of how societies use scarce resources to produce valuable commodities and distribute them among different people. In Naked Economics by Charles Whelan, Whelan addresses the study of economics in plain language. Whelan puts economics in such a plain language that even your everyday insurance salesman can understand what exactly economics is about. If there's one thing that economics isn't about, is about making the most amount of money. Because this isn't always true. Unlike ODB, who says,
"Where you going with the money, man?"
In 1989, then President Ronald Reagan said,
"Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall."
And in the same year, Gorbachev delivered. Seizing the moment, American soda company Coca-Cola provided the newly liberated East Germans with Coca-Cola products that would eventually scatter across Europe in the next 6 years. Then thought as a foolish mistake, though the plan was losing Coca-Cola in the short run, what people didn't see was that Coca-Cola was establishing their brand. And that brings Whelan to the point of markets are powerful influences in a person's everyday life. He asks the question, who feeds Paris? By asking who feeds Paris, Whelan is asking what imports of food come from various parts of the world.
Why the chicken cross the road? Well, because he could.
Of course, Whelan doesn't ask that question. Instead, he questions, why did the entrepreneur cross the road? The answer that Whelan poses is because he could make more money on the other side. Whelan says, and I quote, "Firms take inputs and combine them in a way that adds value." This is exactly what entrepreneurs do. They take their talents and they take materials to make a product. Whelan says that an entrepreneur takes their talents to create something that is far more worth than the cost of the inputs. This is why we don't see Chris Paul selling insurance on behalf of State Farm. Whelan then includes the idea of making some money via price discrimination. For example, the same copy of the B-movie may be a different price at Walmart than it is at Best Buy. Of course, Walmart is always cheaper because you gotta save money and live better. Circling back to Coke at the Wall, exactly how would they have made money in the long run? Well, the answer is incredibly simple. By planting the seed of Western thinking inside the former communist state of East Germany, East Germans would think, oh, this is what Americans do, this is what capitalism is. So in return they would purchase that cherry red Coke bottle rather than the crystal blue Pepsi. Because Coke, after all, is what East Germans believe all Americans are drinking. So why does it matter? Why does Chapter 1, The Power of Markets, matter? Well, Whelan questions, what can we infer from all of this? And in response, he says, consumers try to make themselves as well off as possible and firms try to maximize profits. They are seemingly simple concepts, yet they can tell us a tremendous amount of how the world works.